morning cruise, Dave, Bill, and Carmen here at the Joy FM.
This has been a long time coming. Blessing, we have wanted to sit down with you for at least over a year, maybe 2 years.
I was going to say years.
Yeah, I'd have to look back at the calendar. The first time probably Dave and Bill too, I know for me for sure.
Momentum?
Well, no, the first time I ever heard your name.
Yeah. Okay. I was like.
was from, yes, you're right. You've got a great memory. We did meet at Momentum. The first time I ever heard your name was from Chris Tomlin.
Yes.
I was talking to Chris and he said, Carmen, there is a guy, I'm going to just tell you his name right now. Basically mark it in your brain because he's something else and he's about to come on the scene.
Oh my God.
And you have to know him. And he talked about Tin Roof, which Dave's going to get to that in just a couple of minutes. But the first time we heard from you, you were introduced to us, was through Hallelujah, your Christmas song.
Yes.
But the story where I want to start, speaking of momentum, you have to tell the story of the first time Chris Tomlin came over to your apartment. You have to tell the story. This is a great story.
So it started with this text from a number.
Yeah.
And this, it's a Nashville number. And I'm like, okay. I personally, I'm an opportunities guy. If something weird's happening, I go, there might be an opportunity here. Let's see. So a strange number texts me. My instinct is always like, what could this be? And, essentially the number goes, hey, this is Chris Tomlin. And I'm like, that's fake. That's a scam. Of course. Right? Yeah. It's like my Nigerian uncle is going to send you an email. So, but I'm like, my optimistic brain goes, what if it's not? Mm-hmm. Right? Because that's also how you get scammed.
Yeah.
The what if it's not brain? That's, But I go, what if it's not? And then it really was Chris Tomlin. And he goes, we talk about Tin Roof. He goes, hey man, I'd love to stop over and share some music. And I was like, okay, if it's not Chris Tomlin, this is a bad idea. And then, again, I'm like, let's do it. Why not? Right? So, apartment door knock. I open the door and he goes, hey, Blessing, it's Chris. And he just kind of bounds in. He's like, got dad sneakers. It's Chris Tomlin, you know what I mean? And then my brain just keeps going, you're a good father. And I'm like, that guy's in my living room. I was in this kind of studio, apartment buildings will call a studio apartment a one bedroom if it has a long wall somewhere, what I mean? I was in one of those and my entire apartment was basically a grand piano. And so I play Chris Tin Roof. I play him other songs. He's like, man, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm trying to do this for a living. And so we talk about Tin Roof. We talk about how I wrote it, what I wrote it about. And he goes, I would love to put this on my Chris Tomlin Friends album. I'm doing this kind of unorthodox thing where I'm having my country friends and just people from different musical corners just come together and do this. And I was like, that sounds amazing. And every time I play this song live, I always say to people, the reason you know who I am right now is because Chris Tomlin walked into my living room from a song he heard. And that's just the power of music, and that's just how God works. It's like all the showcasing and interviewing I'd done up to that point didn't work, right? I had no idea who Chris Tomlin was, but through nothing I efforted, right? Just because God, right? Yeah. Chris texts me, and that's why we're here. So it's everything I meant to work didn't work, But Chris Tomlin walked into my living room, and that's how we all know each other right now.
Yeah, sure is.
Great story.
All right, Dave, do you want to pick it up?
I do, because Tin Roof is also one of the first songs I heard that really just kind of caught my ear.
Yes, sir.
And probably for the same reasons that it caught Chris's ear. I mean, musically, it was interesting. I know Chris is from Texas. Yeah. I'm from Louisiana. We were very familiar with the sound of rain on a tin roof. But I don't think either of us had ever associated that nostalgic, peaceful summer night rain sound with the afterlife.
Yes.
So to take that idea, where does it come from? How do you get from Tin Roof to Streets of Gold? Where did that happen?
So I was born in Nigeria. And where I'm from, once you go into what they call the villages, where it's usually where your grandparents live, right? They have those houses, like the red hard clay with the tin roof, literally on the cottage looking thing. And as a kid, before I came to the States, even to this, I can play it for myself in my head right now. The sound of like a storm outside. You're inside. You're in this little. It's not a palace. It's just maybe 3-4 rooms, tin roof over your head. Your entire family is kind of huddled in this room, and there was. This is gonna sound weird, but the storm outside made it magical, right? So like you almost need the storm to realize that you're in a place of safety, right? And there was a time where I thought, man, if this is heaven, I'm in, right? And so it wasn't that outside was perfect flowers and sunshine. It was actually that there was a storm outside, but you're safe, right? And I thought, this is perfection. And to this day, I still, when I think back to those moments, feel like that. And when I sat with my co-writer on this, a woman named Natalie Hemby, who is a queen in Nashville, right? She's written every song you love. When I sat with her, she said, what do you miss most about home? And I said, I miss the sound of rain on a tin roof.
Wow.
And her and I when that song finished, I said, Natalie, how did we just write that? And she goes, Blessing, you wrote the song. My job was just to be a hand on your shoulder guiding a little bit. And I mean, the whole song was magical from beginning to end.